right, we got to talk about AOC and Bernie Sanders and just the Democrat Party in general. Because I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's an internal war going on in the Democrat Party. I know they try to make it seem as if everything's all peachy over there on that side of the political aisle, and they're all just standing up against Elon and Trump. No. There's an internal war between the establishment Democrats and the new socialist, the far left socialist Democrats in the party. You know, a war between the Chuck Schumers and the Nancy Pelosi's of the world versus the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, versus the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders of the world. There's an internal clash happening. So much so that they had been asking they had been asking Chuck Schumer to step down as Senate Minority Leader. He has refused. And so AOC and Bernie Sanders decided to go on a tour around the country and hold some rallies. But there's a twist. And we'll get into that twist here in just a moment. But I want to read a couple of things for you guys that AOC and Bernie Sanders had posted. So with that being said, let's dive in. Now, as you can see on your screen here, this is AOC's account, okay? Her official X account right there for you, okay? Now, I want to read what she posted. She said, something special is happening. Over 34,000 people joined our fight, the Oligarchy rally tonight with Bernie Sanders and I. Biggest political event in Denver since Obama 2008. Working people are ready to stand together and fight for our democracy. Thank you, Colorado. And then she posted the picture. Okay. So yeah, fairly big crowd there. That's a good crowd. I'll give her credit. That is a big crowd. Okay. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people to show up for AOC and Bernie Sanders. I'm just saying that's a massive crowd. That's nothing to scoff at, right? Now, Bernie Sanders basically posted the same thing. The video speaks for itself. 34,000 people out in Denver. 34,000 people out in Denver. Largest political rally there since 2008. The message is clear. No authoritarianism, no oligarchy, no Trumpism. We are ready to fight back. Now it's on to Tucson. And I will say this. This is what gave me a cause to pause to start digging a little deeper. When I saw both of them mention 2008 and try to tie themselves into the Democrat Party's, basically the Democrat Party's biggest star, who's Obama, that gave me a cause to pause. You know, like that just seemed kind of weird to me. You know, it just didn't seem genuine. You know, like why are you telling me this? Why are you trying to put that in front of my face? Like what is your purpose for this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a big reason why they were trying to do it. It's to drum up this artificial support. Remember I said there was a twist to this whole story? Yep, check it out.
To have some explaining to do. Breaking news, Bernie Sanders wrecks himself. Here's what happened. Bernie Sanders and AOC had an event, and then he shared this. The video speaks for himself. 34,000 people out in Denver, the largest political rally there since 2008. The message is clear. No to authoritarianism, no to oligarchy, and no to Trumpism. We are ready to fight back. Now it's on to Tucson. All right, so that's what he posts. But guess what? There is a company that can triangulate cell phones and see who they are and where they are and what's going on. And here's the actual facts. The GPS data reveals that Bernie and AOC's turnout was not organic. Make sure you give this a heart. Make sure you comment. We got to make sure this goes viral. 84% of the devices present at the Bernie and AOC rally in Denver attended 9 or more Kamala Harris rallies, or Antifa BLM, pro-Hamas, Hamas, and pro-Palestine protests. 31%, 1 in 3 of the devices had attended over 20. This is not 1985 where Bernie first became a great-grandfather. What's happening right now is technology can triangulate things and see the truth. So though they might tell you it was an organic, massive rally, that is not accurate. The truth is 84% of the people that were there had attended 9 or more Democratic, etc., rallies, and 1 in 3 had been at over 20. So though the media might tell you, oh, Bernie AOC, they're coming, that's not accurate. What they want to do is try to create some manufactured excitement and popularity like they did with Harris. But that's not going to work. Look what just happened, right? They tried to create that with the media, but people didn't want that. Donald Trump won in a landslide, popular vote, all 7 swing states. So this is very important that you comment, like, share it, because we need to make sure that the truth is more popular and shown more than incorrect information.
Facts. I agree. Make sure you guys share this video. Make sure you share this video, because that's the narrative that they're trying to push out, is that they have all of this major support. But in reality, they're just recycling their own crowds. They're taking the Kamala Harris crowds and I made several videos on this. You guys remember when Kamala was bussing people in, and then there was a report, probably, I think from the same company, that came out and showed that, I believe it was a rally in North Carolina that she had. As a matter of fact, here's the video clip of this brother talking about.
We're going to get to some data from the Kamala rally.
5,003 mobile devices at Kamala Harris's rally in Charlotte, North Carolina on Thursday afternoon. It appears over 3,600 came from Georgia, mainly Atlanta, Georgia, and approximately 720 from Savannah, Georgia. So that's a North Carolina rally with almost 80% of the attendees being from Georgia.
After you do the math, that's only 600 or so local people from North Carolina that attended. That's all who shows up, and you're planning to what? Get 80-something million votes again? Something ain't right. And then all these people come from buses. And it's kind of weird because at the Trump events, you don't really have like organized buses like that. People just kind of show up and park on their own. But at the Kamala rally, there's just these lines of buses at every event, which is weird. And a lot of the people are also the same people that attend multiple rallies. Can you read those tweets?
Any of the same ones from previous events, because this guy's tracking the cell phones, I guess, and he says 90% have been to 3+ rallies, 54% were even at Arizona and Nevada rallies.
So it's all the same people. And as we've said in the show before, Kamala's support is all fake.
Yeah.
It's all contrived. It's not very real. And that seems to be the proof.
It's not all. Obviously, everybody here has a relative or a person who like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala. I can't stand Trump. But there's a difference between voting against Trump and then going to a Kamala Harris rally where she's going to do a black accent.
90% fake. Yeah. You convinced me. 90% fake.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris tried to do the exact same thing. The exact same thing, busing in people. We can see the buses, and they're telling us, oh no, all of this grassroots support. No, you guys remember, they're all saying grassroots. That's a key that it's all fake. Why do you need to tell me that it's grassroots? Shouldn't that just be common sense? Why do you need to tell me that this is the biggest rally since Obama in 2008? Wouldn't I know that already? Why aren't you telling me that? The fact that you feel like you have to tell me lets me know that you're trying to hide something. You're trying to push a narrative on me. And that's why I said when they both referenced the 2008 with Obama, I was like, something's off about this. And lo and behold, they're busing in the same old crowds that they've always used. The same old crowds. Now, once again, like he said, I agree with the brother when he said it's not all completely fake. Of course, there are Democrat supporters out there. Duh. And we've seen some of them keying Teslas. So we know that they're out there. But in the numbers that they want us to think, it's just not there. There's more of us than there are of them. But they want us to believe it's the other way around. But it's not. And we saw it in this past election. I mean, literally, Trump won every single swing state. Every single one. And he won the popular vote. Won every single swing state. But yet they wanted us to believe that Kamala was this major popular figure, and she was packing stadiums, packing out arenas. Look at all these people in this football stadium here. She's packed this whole thing. Look at this. The crowd is just absolutely going nuts. Meanwhile, they were busing people in. And we have the technology to prove it. Silly rabbits, the tricks are for kids. It is all fake, and we caught them once again doing the same thing. And also, it's really funny how they want to go on this oligarchy tour when in reality it's the Democrat Party that is a part of the oligarchy. Because once again, I've always said this, when the Democrat Party accuses Republicans of doing something, It's because the Democrat Party is actually guilty of it, but they want to put it on Republicans to try to make it seem like Democrats are all innocent. But let me play this clip from Batya Sungar because she lays it out perfectly. Check it out.
There is such an irony to Democrats talking about oligarchy because, of course, for every one billionaire that backed President Trump, Kamala Harris had 2. 9 of the 10 richest counties in America are represented by Democrats. 65% of Americans making over $500,000 a year today are Democrats. 75% of hedge fund managers who make political donations donate to Democrats, and 95% of political donations from the top 3 management consulting firms go to Democrats. Meanwhile, President Trump absolutely crushed with Americans who make under $100,000 a year. The Democrats are the party of the wealthy. And Donald Trump is representing the working class because he simply lifted the pro-worker elements of the Democrats' agenda when they abandoned the working class to cater to their rich base. This is all performance art. And what's so upsetting about it is they are being paid by the American people to serve them, and they are doing nothing of the kind.
Facts. It's all performance art. They're busting in all of the same people and then lying about what the tour is actually about. They're the party of the oligarchy. I mean, literally, a billionaire, Mark Cuban, was Kamala's surrogate. He was out giving speeches for Kamala. Elon Musk was a Democrat until they started attacking him, until they started going after him. How do you hold an EV summit and you don't invite Tesla? How is that possible? Yeah, you guys probably remember that when they had the EV summit in the Biden administration and Kamala did invite Elon Musk and Tesla. How in the fuck do you do that? The biggest EV company, you don't invite them, but you have all of these other companies there? Joe Rogan was a Democrat. He talked about it time after time after time. Now, he's not a billionaire, but he's very, very wealthy. Dude's probably worth $300 million. He was a Democrat. He talked about voting for Bernie Sanders and supporting Bernie Sanders and not liking Trump, and he didn't want Trump on the show. All of these different things. They were Democrats. But we're the party of the rich, though, right? We're the party of the rich. Okay. Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, all the George Soros, the whole crew, right? We just ignore all of those billionaires. Okay. Right. Anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this. Make sure you share this video so America can see that what the Democrat Party is doing is truly performative arts. It's all fake. Peace and love. I'm out.